Hey guys, mind the gap. Did you ever see that sign? Were you ever in London in the tubes? Well, mind the gap has relevance for our market as well. We're in an accelerating market with very limited inventory. So, mind the appraisal gap. So, you might be asking, what is an appraisal gap? Well, an appraisal gap is the difference between the contract price and the appraised value that your lender appraiser came up with. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means a couple things, but it certainly does not mean that you overpaid for the home. And to understand that, you need to understand a little bit more about methodology for appraisals and what an appraiser's role is. So, first, let's talk about methodology. Appraisers use three primary approaches to derive value. They use the comparable sales approach, which is the most common and most relied upon approach for resale homes. They can also use the cost approach, and thirdly, they can use the income approach, which is rarely used for a resale home being bought for primary home ownership, because obviously it's not going to create income. Income is through rental. So, how is it that an appraiser could come up with a value lower than your than your real estate professional? Well, it's quite easy. In markets that are appreciating rather rapidly, like the Raleigh, North Carolina, and Triangle market is in June 2023 and has been since March 2023, the appreciation rates on homes are increasing faster than the historical data that appraisers rely upon to come up with value. So, how does that transpire? Well, it transpires because we have a severe shortage, and ultimately, buyers set price, buyers establish value. Okay, great. So you said I didn't overpay, but this appraiser said I did. Well, you also need to take in consideration who the appraiser is working for, which is your lender, not you. So the appraisal is not for your benefit. It does benefit or assist you in getting the loan, but it does not give you. It's done for the lenders in their evaluation of collateral should you default on your mortgage, which we know is not going to happen. So what happens if you have an appraisal gap? What if I need to mind the gap, Tony? What do I do? Well, first thing, there's always the opportunity for negotiation. And in North Carolina, during the due diligence period, the buyer can terminate or walk away from the contract for any reason or no reason. What a lot of folks don't truly understand the benefit is that also in North Carolina, in most circumstances after the due diligence period, the buyer can walk away or air quotes default on the contract. And the seller's typical remedies are limited to keeping the monies, due diligence fee, and earnest money if there is any. So there is a real potential, no guarantees, but a real potential for negotiation with a seller who's equally as interested in seeing the home close as you are in seeing the home close to become your new home. What else can happen? Well, depending on the amount of equity you were going to put in, i.e., the down payment, the cash to close, depending on how much you were willing to put in, the lender could simply adjust their advance rate because they're going to lend on the lower of appraised value or contract, hence where the gap comes from. And that's called a loan to value ratio. So the lender could simply lend a higher percentage. That could have some impact on you. Most likely, it might impact whether or not you need mortgage insurance. Those are all solvable solutions over time. The other option is, of course, you could just put in additional cash, and that would make up for the gap. So I hope that helps. And the most important advice I want to give anyone out there is be prepared for an appraisal gap in a rapidly appreciating, high demand, low inventory market. Understand that it's frustrating, understand that it's confusing, and lean on your professional to help guide you through it. They should also be able to give you a gauge or potential for an appraisal gap as you go under contract and while you're structuring the offer before it gets accepted. But most importantly, please keep in mind that appraisal gaps do not mean you overpaid. Once your home closes, it will set a new price benchmark, you ready for it? Comparable sale, which is what the appraisers are looking for when they're trying to justify a contract price for both your neighborhood and the immediate zip code around it for similar homes in features and offerings. And last, appreciation has a way of solving all problems. So if you are buying a home with a home ownership period of more than 30 seconds, you will probably never notice an appraisal gap. If you'd like to discuss this more, there's more to talk about and more I can share. Please reach out to me, and always think Fink at Linda Craft Team Realtors, 919-986-4146. I am always welcome to share my 35 plus years of experience and my daily experience as a real estate agent helping homeowners buy, build, and sell homes. And yes, I have incurred appraisal gaps in the past. I have incurred appraisal gaps recently. I have prepared my clients for the potential for appraisal gaps going forward. Have a great day, and thank you so much for watching.